Hey YouTube, it's Jim. Just want to make a quick little response to a video that's really making some buzz today, especially around my circle of friends. NutNFancy has posted on his B channel, he calls it. It's not his main channel, but another one. Um, it's kind of a criticism to the milk jug challenge that Long Range Shooters of Utah does. Um, Kind of claiming it's not possible, or that people will shoot a steel or paper target, get on target, and then move over to the milk jug and start the camera and brag about how great they are. I First off, I want to make sure everyone knows Mike Pappas and Jake Van Allen are awesome guys. I've met both of them. I don't know that they know who I am, but I'm not a celebrity in the gun world. But I I want to make a few points I've kind of made some notes on, so bear with my eye contact here. Um, the video kind of criticizes that it's possible or that it's reasonable to claim you can do it in 10 shots like we do. Um, Mike and Jake at the end say they do it all the time, which is funny. And then the premise of the video is that it's not possible. Um, and they had a bad day. We'll all agree on that. They both, Mike and Jake, know how to shoot. Um, they're not competitors. I've never seen them in a match before, but they know how to shoot. Mike makes excellent silencers, and Jake makes excellent guns. We can all agree on that, so we'll get that out of the way. My first criticism is you guessed your range. That is ridiculous, guys. Buy some rangefinder that works, something that can get to your target and know your range. Um, and even if you don't know your range, you can walk it into the target. So that's okay. I can forgive that a little bit, but that was kind of hilarious to a lot of us. Um, don't spot with a camera. You're not going to get quite the clarity you will looking through the scope itself. I know that you're doing that to publish it, but it gets really pixelated and stuff, and it's not going to be quite as crisp. Um, you're shooting in the snow, which doesn't mean you can't hit anything. The weather doesn't, you know the weather, you input it in the ballistic calculator or whatever, but you can't see your misses very well. That's the whole purpose of the acronym DOPE, data on previous engagement. So if you guys go out and shoot in the snow and you can't see your misses, how are you ever going to improve? It's kind of like blindfolded shooting a basketball. You have no idea what you're doing, where you're off. Um, we all agree that if it was, on a dry day, no snow, it'd be no, not a big feat, but it would be a lot easier than it would have been. Um, I I personally am an administrator on Long Range Shooters Utah, and I've been shooting for a couple of years now, long range, and I've been involved with guns my whole life. But um, I think that NutNFancy has kind of branded himself today a little more, and he's kind of made us or me think about his name. I don't mean his actual name, I mean his YouTube name is NutNFancy. And it's not his game. His game is not super duper high end stuff. You don't get the followers he has with, buying $3,000 scopes and, $4,000 rifles. That's not how he gets his publicity. He gets it because he goes to gun shops, looks at cheap guns, kind of the common man stuff. Oops. These Glocks right here. This is all backwards, sorry. These Glocks here, they're kind of everyone's gun. I mean, that one has a silencer and one is a Glock 34 competition, but he's not a guy who goes out and seeks out the best and the most expensive and the rarest. He's a guy who looks at Glocks and Smiths and Rugers and just the normal stuff, AR-15s, AKs. He's a guy who comments on everything, on the common stuff. He doesn't very often talk about Night 4 scopes or Hollis or Vortex Gen 2s or really super high end stuff, because there's fewer people who are going to relate and kind of understand that stuff. There's a very, very big group of guys in Utah and other states, of course. There's probably more in other states, but there's a group in Utah, Long Range Shooters Utah, who really love this stuff and they've really kind of polished their craft. And there's over 5,300 of them, I think, now. That obviously not everybody can shoot super amazing, but a lot of them are learning and they're growing and they're getting better. And I I'll tell you what, it's no joke. I can introduce you to 50 guys today who can absolutely hit on a first shot at least a 24-inch square steel plate, and probably even better. I know a couple guys who will absolutely be within 6 or 7 inches of a dot on a piece of steel, so they absolutely are good enough to shoot a milk jug in 10 shots. That's at 1,000 yards. Obviously, 1,200, 15 a mile. It gets harder, obviously, but it's just absolutely ridiculous to see a guy who has no idea what he's doing criticize people who do. Um, I think that I'd love to see Nut and Fancy come to a competition. I'd love to see him come to a milk jug challenge. I know he won't. I'm going to call it. He won't do it because who wants to go out and prove that they're wrong or prove that they're kind of being an ass a little bit. Nobody likes to do that, so I'm going to let it go. I just had to give my little 2 cents out there. Um, but no, no harm, no foul. I think it's kind of cute. It's kind of funny ultimately, but I think the invitation's out there to anybody. Anybody's watching this, please contact us. We'll take you out shooting. We'll show you what we're made of. There's some pretty great shooters out there, and I hope you guys can kind of recognize that. Um, anyway, I'll kind of end this. I don't want it to be 45 minutes long. See you guys.